What you see on screen is the hierarchy of Azure resources. All of these are resources, and every resource must be a part of resource group. No resources will be under subscription directly. So here is my resource group, which is a logical segregation of all the resources. For example, if I keep these three resources for sales, I can keep it under one resource group, which is sales, production, testing. So these are some of the examples. How do you choose names for resource group? Please try to understand your organization structure based on the departments and based on billing cycle. You can name the resource group. And all of them are under subscription. You get your monthly billing under subscription. And you also have one level above, which is your management group. Now we will try to understand resource groups more. Though it is a logical segregation, it is really important for us to understand more about resource group. The first use of resource group, as we have already seen, is the logical segregation. But why? So that we can apply policies on the resource group level. Policies are for better administration and better control and for compliance purpose. And all the resources must be under any one resource group. And on the resource group level, you can also enable RBAC, which is nothing but your access control to other people apart from you. Do I have anything apart from this? Yes, let's go back to the previous slide. And here, above management group, I do have one more layer. What if I belong to a very large enterprise company wherein I do have few hundreds of subscription and many management group? Do I have one more level above? Yes, that is nothing but your root management group, which is your enterprise level. All these EA customers have one more layer above your management group. Now with this, shall we start our first hands-on lab of creating only the resource group? We are not going to get into any of the resources. Let us create only the resource group and try to understand what are all the options that we can have under it and how can I control it better. Let's do the lab. Go to your portal and type in resource group on top of the search column, or you can also have frequently used resources here. Click on add, give the name of the resource group. I'm going to give it as test 1. And we need to choose a region, though it is not very useful. It is really a mandatory step for Microsoft. My resource group can be under East US, but all the resources within my resource group can be under another region. Next comes tag. What is tag? When you receive your monthly billing, you will get it in the form of Excel sheet. If yours is a very small company with 5 or 10 Azure resources, it is easy for you to segregate to different departments or different people. What if your company has hundreds of Azure resources under one subscription, but they are all for different departments? When you get your monthly billing, which is an Excel sheet, it is really useful if you have tags. For example, if I give the name as sales and value as US dollar, which is USD, it is easy for me to segregate the resources under different departments so that I can send the billing very easily to them. This avoids confusion if I have more resources. Now at the resource group level, choosing a tag is not really mandatory. You can go ahead and create all the resources and resource groups without the tag also, but it is a best practice. Now click on review and create. Once the validation is passed, you can click on create and the resource group will be ready immediately. Now here I have set my logical boundary. Under subscription, I have my logical boundary of test. And what are all my options? I am the administrator for this account. And if I give temporary access to somebody else, I don't want anybody to damage this resource group. Let's take an example. I'm the administrator, but I'm going for a 10 days vacation and I want another department's administrator to take care of this resource group. So I can click on access control and click on the roles and assignment and These are all the roles. You have close to 50 plus roles here, but you need to be very well aware of the first three roles: owner, contributor, and reader. Reader, true to the name, cannot create anything but just monitors and create Microsoft support ticket. What is the difference between owner and a contributor? A owner can give ownership to another person. So if I make my colleague a owner, and my colleague can give the ownership to third person. But if I make my colleague a contributor, he or she cannot transfer the ownership to anybody, but as a contributor, that person can delete all my resources. How can I prevent such kind of disasters? Apart from role assignment, I do have few other options, which is policies and locks. Let's look at all these options one by one. First is lock. I'm going to add a lock for my resource group so that nobody can delete. Even I cannot do accidental deletion. Give a lock name. You have read only lock and delete lock. All I want is a delete lock because I can allow other people to create resources but not delete this resource group. Notes are optional. You can type in do not delete. My lock is here. Now when I click on my overview page and I will try to delete the resource group by confirming the name. Let's see what is the error message that we get. I'm not able to delete it because it has locks. It's a good feature, isn't it? So now we have seen two different options, which is the RBAC, role-based access control, and locks, and also tags. Now let's see one more option, a better way to control compliance under this resource group, which is nothing but policy. We have seen the importance of tags. Let's say I'm the administrator of a small company with 40 to 50 Azure resources under three different departments: sales, IT, and finance. I don't want a new person to create few resources without any tagging. Why? Because it becomes really difficult for me to segregate the monthly billing and send it to these three departments. Hence, I'm going to make it as a mandatory initiative or a mandatory policy for tagging under resource group so that anybody cannot create any resources without any tagging. To understand it better, let's do a lab. This is the resource group that I have created. I'm going to click on it and go to policies. Here, I'm going to assign a new policy. I don't want to give any exceptions. And here is the policy definition. What do I need? Tag. So require a tag and its value on all the resources we are creating. I'm going to use this tag name. I'm going to give it to finance and the value is USD. I'm going to keep all the other options basic. Okay, so I have enforced tagging. Now, how can I check? How can I verify that the policy is enforced? Let's quickly try to create a storage account. Do not worry if you are not able to understand what I am doing for the next 2 minutes because we have a very long lecture for storage account. So I'm going to create storage account without a tag and see if I get any error message. As we have seen, all resources must be under one resource group. So I have chosen the resource group and remember this is the name of the resource group under which I have enforced tagging. The name of the storage account has to be unique. Why? We will see it in the storage lecture. I'm going to create it under West US. But do you remember I have created this particular resource group in East US. So resource group location is independent of all the resources. I'll keep all the other options basic. We'll come to the tags page. Now I have to give finance and USD. Then only I will be able to create this storage account. Let's go ahead and see what happens if I don't give. This validation is only for the resource validation. Now the deployment validation is happening here. If you see the deployment has failed, now we will recreate the storage account, but this time with the tag. I'm going to give the same name and same options. Under tag, we need to give finance and then USD. The validation is passed, but this is for resource validation. Now we will see if the deployment is getting interrupted. It says your deployment is underway because we have followed the compliance procedure, which is the right tag. Our storage account is ready. Let's go to whiteboard and we will try to understand what have we done in the last few minutes. This is my subscription. And here I'm going to write my name, Eva, and within that I have a logical segregation, which is my resource group. And on the resource group, I can put log, I can also put a tag, and I can also have my RBAC, which is role-based access control. Do you remember the vacation example that I have given, wherein I was trying to give control to another person? And the very, very important one, policy. We will have a separate session on policy at the end under administration. But as of now, I hope you understand the basic of policy through which I can control what to do and what not to do, wherein we have enforced tagging as a part of the lab. Under resource group, I can have multiple resources. And there is one more point. I know I'm repeating this, but this is very important. My resource group can be in East US and all of my resources can be in different regions. This can be in West US, this can be in Central India, this can be in West India, this can be in North Europe. Now, this is what we have learned in the previous lecture. Please create a portal and try to create a resource group. And whatever we have done, please do all these 4 steps before we start our next lecture.